On the other hand, I guess we have to pay attention to the fact that the mainstream public opinion in Taiwan preferring the maintenance of status quo. It's a transparent information for Beijing. And I guess that adds tremendously to Beijing's anxiety that Taiwan seems to be drifting increasingly away.
We just mentioned that most Taiwanese do support the status quo and do not want to see the current situation be changed. And it strikes me that any move that breaks the status quo would create more instability and unpredictability of the future. So why should Taiwan initiate a move toward a merger, as you suggested, George?
I always remember what Lee Kuan Yew told us when I was in this cabinet. He said, never govern by polling. Never govern by polling. Because if you are governing by polling, you are not leading. You are being led. And if a society is being led by polls, you will lead to tragedy. And very often, when you are striking new directions, the leader is in the minority. So I'm familiar with all these polls, and I'm sure the mainland is concerned, but the key is leadership, not polls. And leadership must see further than the people being polled. That's why you're a leader. You must look ahead, see the trends, where the dangers are, and say, no, we cannot go that way. You may always think that way is easier, but you will lead to disaster. No, we take the difficult route, because after that, it'll be a bright future. So this is my response to the idea of polling. The time that we have during the status quo must be time that we use to build trust. Find common areas. If I do not want to be your friend, I will find reasons why we should not meet, why we should be angry with each other. And every little fault is magnified. But if I want to be your friend, and you want to be my friend, we will find common areas and concentrate on common areas and say the difficult things, let's put aside. Find common areas. And after a while, trust grows. And as the circle of trust grows, the overlap increases and all kinds of possibilities, not possible in the past, will emerge. And it is a bit troubling the way education is being pursued, because education influences young minds.
Of course, given the current Taiwan situation, I'm not very sure that any leader can choose to ignore the poll or those surveys. And I think there's one thing different between Taiwan and Singapore, that because I agree with you that the reason why we need a leader, because we need the leader's vision and also his courage to take sometimes bold action and to do something. But given the Taiwan situation, we don't just have one leader. How can we say one leader's view is better, will lead Taiwan to a better future rather than another one's view? So we don't just have a single view on this.
So George, I agree with you that both leadership and understanding polls are important, and leadership may be more important. But in Taiwan's case, of course, we have regular elections. They have to consider the support approval rating from the general public. So when the majority of our people in Taiwan support the status quo, then of course that is one element we have to take into account. On the other hand, I also like to point out that maintaining status quo is not only a strategy, actually that's the direction for the future. At the same time, of course, we need to strengthen our values. You mentioned earlier that Taiwan is a valuable asset, not only for ourselves, but also for the United States, for mainland China, for the entire world. So Taiwan needs to further develop and strengthen Taiwan's values, Taiwan's strength, economically and strategically, including TSMC. I mentioned this the other day. Taiwan already has the largest semiconductor industry in the world. That is also a strength for Taiwan's values. And then Taiwan, of course, is very strategically located. We are in the center of the first island chain. So we can really provide all the opportunities to facilitate trade, sea transportation, air transportation for the region. Taiwan is an important linkage between Northeast Asia and Southeast Asia.